America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern, that's 4 Pacific, for about an hour and 90 minutes each day. We run it live on, we do 3 gun-related topics each day, different topics throughout the week. We run it live over on YouTube, and we simulcast it over at gunchannels.com, where we're watching the comments that are coming in from everybody that's watching us live. Every once in a while, we'll take the audio from the show, and we'll post it on iTunes as a podcast. So we encourage anybody that might be listening to the show now or in the future to leave us some feedback so we know where you're listening and who you are. We've got 4 hosts. 3 of us are here today. We got Bob jumping in from Canada. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, glad to be here, eh?
We got Dano jumping in from Illinois. Thanks for joining.
Yeehaw!
And I'm down here in Arizona. I should be saying that. But are you saying that because you're about to hit the road?
I'm excited.
That's good to hear. So we're going to be jumping into the show here. It is episode 353. It's Wednesday. We'll be talking about entertainment, good idea, bad idea, and the showdown. But before we do, we usually take a break at the beginning of the show to talk about anything that might have happened overnight that was worth talking about. So what do you got that's so exciting?
I'm just getting ready, taking care of all the little details I got to take care of before I leave the road for about 6 days or so, and I'm just getting excited about it. I know what's coming, but since I've never been there, I don't know exactly what to expect. So it's exciting.
Right on. So and since you got back from before, you've been still going to the gym every day?
3 times a week is what I've always done.
Okay, well, but I mean consistently, so that's good.
Yeah.
When they're stronger, that's cool.
Just think how excited you'd be if you were going in a new van, Dano. Wouldn't that be cool? Get yourself a nice camper van.
You should buy a van. I don't know why you're going down. How much are you paying for hotels on this 6 days?
It's like for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's for 3 days. It's like $240.
Oh. You could almost buy a half of a good van for that.
I dare you to show me this half of a good van.
Well, where you get them, they'll have rust holes in them. But, you know, if you use that spray foam and fill the holes in, it'll stop the breeze.
Uh-huh.
Seriously, I had a van that was pretty much holding it together.
Right, well, we don't want to turn into a van chat. So that sounds like a good time, though. Going down the road sounds good. And going down and that's going to be a pretty interesting situation to have all that stuff happen. And plus all the people, I bet you, swarm the town. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of opportunities to BS with people after hours and just hang out with different people and whatnot and network.
Yeah, that's
yeah. No idea what to expect, but I'm looking forward to it regardless.
Right,
so you've really been adventurous since you took all that tactical training.
Yesterday was Tuesday, so it was hit or miss. Anybody listening to the night shows? It was also a Big Gunner show.
I did not. I was taking care of business.
Yeah, me too. I was moving furniture around.
Actually, when I travel, I diffuse some of my assets in case I get jacked while I'm gone. So that's what I was doing last night.
You know, went out and looked at I don't want to turn into a van chat, but I went out and looked at a 17-passenger Dodge, huge van with nothing but windows. Pretty interesting. Pretty.
You know, I do remember seeing a picture, and the word land ship comes to mind.
Seriously, it feels like a aircraft carrier or something. There's so much roof, and it's in really good shape. and everything about it I like, except for the windows and how long it is. But Connery was saying earlier that the extra length isn't really going to kill that much gas mileage. It's just if you load all that with extra tonnage or whatever. But I really don't need that much room. It's huge.
Well, yeah. Other than it's huge, I'm sure you'll find things because it is all empty volume, so it really isn't going to bother your mileage much. It's probably an extra 400 pounds on the whole vehicle. And it gives you a huge amount of volume, which makes for more living space. It's going to make it much more bearable to be living in for, say, a month at a time, which some of your trips.
For Bob, in Bob's world, the amount of extra room in that van is enough for like 2 extra rooms in that unit.
That's
bedroom and a closet.
That's what I mean. You're a giant guy. Think Harry and the Hendersons, and then putting that Sasquatch in the back of that station wagon, and he'd put his head up and put it through the roof. That's what would happen in a normal sized van, whereas you get something you can stretch out in.
Should get a station. Stretch out and look at a station wagon. All right, well, so let's move on to the show, I guess. So getting some early visitors here, but not as many as normal, but thanks for everybody that showed up. If you want, let us know where you're at. Figure that gets people to know each other, and it'll start helping once we're on the road, right? Dano's already going to be on the road. He's not talking about it, but he's going to be multi-state traveling here. And won't be too long before Bob's traveling again. Smeggy is technically traveling right now. I saw that he's taking pictures of gun shops and stuff along the way. So looking forward when he checks back. But yeah, let's keep aware of who's out there. Let's try to make that a beginning of the show type of thing. I saw some other podcasts doing that. I liked it because, like I said, when we have new people joining in, they might, I don't know, be able to subscribe to the channels or whatever, link up with somebody, network with somebody in their area.
Well, no kidding. And that's the coolest thing. I remember meeting guys like from around back home in Saskatoon that were on the internet and doing gun channels, right? Or firearms related channels. And I thought that was so freaking cool that I could meet somebody who was within, a couple 100 miles. So basically like a number that, had the same interests as me, and we connected online. So it was kind of neat. So really cool. I think we should really push that. It'd be really neat if somebody from Canada ever came and watched the show.
I don't know about that.
No, besides Slap, I already met him.
All right, so reading some of the responses there, so we'll dig into the show. So Clovertax said that the hit or miss show was pretty good last night. So if you want to listen to that, it's over on Gun Channels, the hit or miss channel. All right, so over on to the schedule, we got entertainment gun magazines, in parentheses paper. So the old types of magazines, not the or magazines, I guess. But,
I still buy them. I'll still buy a gun magazine. They're great to throw into the bathroom or something.
Bob does have a bunch of magazines in the bathroom.
I do. And they're mostly gun or airplane or something like that because I want something to do while I'm.
Yeah, they're like 90% airplane and like a gun magazine, but yeah.
Now, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way, although it may come across so. The last time I saw a gun magazine, which was only a few months ago, I picked it up, just kind of thumbed through it quickly, and then it reminded me, oh yeah, that's why I like the internet. And then I set it down.
I hear you. They're not that great. It's nice to have something, I guess, but they don't they're not like data. They're like ads. So
yeah,
not purchasing then. But I guess for like planes and stuff, or travel, I guess potentially where you're out of cell range or you just want to get off the phone once in a while, I think they're a decent alternative. I'm glad they're there.
Yeah, there's no.
Here's what's discouraging. I try to look for the AK special editions. It's about the only thing I buy ever really anymore as far as magazines. But I'm looking at the newsstand for them because I don't really pay attention to when they come out. I know the couple of different publishers put them out once or twice a year. So I just kind of, look at the newsstands whenever I'm walking past one to see if there's one there. And I'm noticing there's fewer and fewer gun magazines, huh? I mean, I remember a time when there was a good section of them, and there was a whole bunch of boring ones I didn't like, and then there was a whole bunch I did, and there was, options. Now there's like 5. The whole magazine section in general is smaller too. It's not like it's just the gun magazines, but there's a heck of a lot fewer at the stores lately.
No, that's true. It's become something that's it's harder to find. I mean, to find, you can find crap magazines like women's issues about makeup and shit like that, but you can't find something that's interesting to read for a guy. Maybe a mountain bike magazine, shit like that, but newsstand and find a gun magazine is really hard. Way harder than anything else.
A couple of times I've looked at gas stations, they don't even have magazines anymore. So it's not like a permanent fixture, which is probably good. But a lot of that was waste. I worked at a Barnes & Noble for a minute, and the amount, basically the amount of stuff that they throw away is ridiculous. It's just, stuff that was printed, shipped all over the place, put out on the shelves for a while, literally was never even looked at until they ripped the cover off and threw it in the trash. So just FYI, your trash picker, go to behind a Barnes & Noble, figure out their schedule, and whenever the newsstand guy throws out the magazines, they'll be throwing away just like shopping carts full of the old issues. They just rip the covers off and send them back to the publisher for credit, and I'm sure every magazine shop does that.
Yeah, my ex used to work at one, and she would bring me home all airplane magazines and gun magazines. She just they'd tear the covers off, and whoever was responsible for doing that, she'd just have them, put every airplane magazine and gun magazine aside for me. So I got it, didn't have the cover on it. Who cared? It was free to read, and it was great, huh?
Yeah, one of the book packers would go back there. I don't know if they were on the clock or not, and they would literally stack out all the stuff, like the orders that people wanted, like all the stuff they were throwing out. They knew what people wanted. They'd stack it all out in the back there, and you'd know on that day, go back and pick up your stack of shit.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Basically, nobody cared. But
well,
anyway, I wonder if they're just printing them and just nobody's buying them, so they're printing them in smaller quantities.
I believe so. And I think it's got to be more. They can't be printing them like they used to in one spot, putting them all around. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, the print runs have got much smaller.
But that makes a good point. So Pant says he's got an e-subscription to Recoil that he doesn't read, but I've heard of people getting the e-subscription so that they can, like I say, read them on the pads or the phone or whatever. Yeah,
I remember I used to get.
We don't commute. Think about all the people that sit on a train commuting, or sit in a carpool commuting.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of times your internet's going to be spotty. I'd much rather have a magazine that I knew, even if I read my magazines 3 or 4 times, especially the airplane ones. There's always something you missed.
Well, we're not getting a lot of feedback today, so I don't know what's going on. We have only 14 people watching, which is odd. So maybe we have an internet connection over on YouTube or something, but chime in if you're out there. We'll move on, though. We don't want to bore people, so I guess we'll move on to the next topic, unless you guys had something else. Magazines. We've touched on it before. I'm sure we'll hit it again.
Yep.
So we'll move into good idea, bad idea, where we fight over a topic. And it's not so fun, which is 3 people. I tried to throw a link out to a couple of people to try to get more people in today, but everybody's busy, I guess. So before we jump into the good idea, bad idea, which is guns in hospitals, we'll take a break and feature one of the members over at Gun Channels. So Gun Channels is a place we built a while back. It's a community. It's focused on firearms. There's all kinds of things to do. It's completely run by its members, and because of that, we like to feature one of the members each day. Today, it's Rafael, our friend from Florida. I think Dano's met up with him before in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
And we featured him a little while ago.
We feature him all the time. I forgot what I was doing. Usually what I'll do is when I'm scheduling out the shows, unless someone suggested a featured member, which we have had an entire week of suggestions, in the schedule. But if I don't have something at the moment, I'll just see who's active on Gun Channels at the time. And Rafael's on a lot. So he's got a job where he's working during the cool hours of the day. So during the hotter hours, he's got time to leave the chat going. And he's one of the more active participants as far as kind of, like I say, leaving the chat open and doing his daily stuff and just kind of listening to the thing and chiming in when there's something to say. So again, that's the kind of place that we envisioned when we built the place to some extent. So thanks, Raf, for being an active member. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, Raf. I really like Rafael. I wish I'd got a chance to meet him, but I'm sure I will. Either not. If not,
You blew it, Bob. You blew it big time.
What? Why?
You blew it big time.
How did I blow it?
You didn't show up.
No, I couldn't.
Yeah, Bob wasn't even in the country.
You chose not. You could have come down and dipped in for a couple of days and gone back up.
Please. Yeah, okay.
It's not like
with all the
cars, like the 5 or 6 cars that you got, or a motorcycle or something. You couldn't have whipped down for a weekend.
Yeah. You know what? Like I drove like miles last year. You know, I don't.
Oh, now you're trying to make it sound like it was 10 years ago.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyhow.
So that's Rafael. Thanks for being there. We will jump into the good idea, bad idea. We usually just go left, right, real quick. Guns and hospitals. Good idea, bad idea, Bob.
Good idea.
Dano?
Oh, I am so torn on this. I have to say, to be true to my inner self, good idea.
All right, I'll say bad idea then. So how can you sons of bitches think it's a good idea? Around all those crazy people and the drugs and the oxygen tanks and the children and the doctors. What if it's a specialist and he gets shot because of the bullet?
Because of all the crazy people, that's why I want a gun in the hospital. And thanks for making my argument for me.
No, we're being told the YouTube side is just buffering and buffering. So they're not hearing that, but that might be why we're missing some viewers on the YouTube side.
This is our friend Aiko.
Hi, Aiko.
She's been trying to make the hottest hot sauce in the world.
Uh-oh.
After lots of
Bring
Woo-hoo, hot sauce.
Seems like it's working, but you never know. So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I thought that was a commercial interlude.
No, I was just refreshing the YouTube side and it popped up. All right, well,
Cool.
so guns in hospitals. You're saying it's a good idea. What is such a good idea about?
Well, it's self-defense for the emergency workers who are going to have to deal with like the drugged out crazies and possibly zombies one day. And I think it just makes sense that they're all carrying at least a small personal defense weapon, you know, something 9mm they can carry easily under their smocks. And plus, I just think it's a good idea that everybody carries a firearm. Personally, that's just me. I mean, with my, hawkish Canadian attitude.
If we go to the Bible of how to deal with zombies according to AMC, if you're in a hospital, it's best to clearly have a gun. Clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise they wouldn't even have a show, and they wouldn't do that if it wasn't real.
Well, and the whole point is like a hospital is like anywhere else. If anything, you're more likely to become into a situation where you're being physically assaulted. I mean, I don't know what the statistics are. I'm not going to pretend I know them, but I'm willing to bet that statistically you're more likely to get assaulted working in the emergency room of a hospital than you are working in an office building. So why shouldn't you have the same right for self-defense?
Well, I mean, if I'm more likely or not is not the point. The fact is I have that right. And I choose to exercise it.
Well, it's fine, but what if they make it a special law? It's a gun-free zone.
Because the Constitution doesn't have special exemptions or special laws. It's very clear. What does the word shall mean? It doesn't mean maybe. It doesn't mean sometimes. It doesn't mean under certain conditions. It means shall.
Dano, you're saying you would not follow a gun-free zone law?
On air, I would never say such a thing.
That's a good one. That's a very good point. Yeah. But I think it's ridiculous that, you wouldn't think a hospital would be somewhere where you could carry. So this is why GWEBs is wrong. I have to agree with Dano, which doesn't happen that often. But yeah, I think we're right, Dano, and GWEBs is wrong, and so I guess we won this one.
Now, I do think that, at least this is off the top of my head, that maybe there ought to be at least 2 parts of the hospital that might want to be gun-free. Although they would have to have officers wanding people both in and out, and that would be the mental health unit,
Well,
both in and out, as well as employees going in and out, as well as the emergency room.
wait a minute. You don't want the employees or the emergency room doctors to have firearms?
Anybody's likely to get screwed over by their spouse and have a bad day.
What?
And suddenly their bad day turns into everybody's bad day.
Why? Because what? I'm not following your logic, I'm afraid.
Spouse A cheats on spouse B, decides to go get payback at their place of employment.
Well, that's fine, but I mean, that's everybody else would be. Well, you're saying anybody walks in the hospital gets patted down. Now you're on GWEB's side that it should be a gun-free zone.
No, I didn't say that walks in. I said that walks into the emergency room.
So everybody coming in the emergency room gets patted down? I don't think that's constitutional.
I didn't say patted down. I said wanded.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Because it's the one place that everybody gets in.
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying only some people, like if they're just coming in and, they want a concealed carry permit, they just want to come into the hospital to see their spouse. And you're saying
you don't enter to the emergency room to see your spouse.
Sure you do. I'm sure that happens. Because they're not always dealing with emergencies. They have breaks and stuff.
Well, then it's just to see if they're alive. And yes, at the emergency room, since they're an unknown quantity mentally, yeah, I want them wanted. But as far as 36 hours later, when they're back up in the heart unit or whatever that is, then chances are things are less likely to be bubbling over.
I don't know. You lost me completely. It must just be me today. Maybe the internet's kind of dropping shit out. But yeah, you got me confused. Are you still for firearms in hospitals?
Oh yes. I'm just saying maybe we ought to at least think about the possibility that there's certain parts of the hospital that might want to be gun-free. But if you're going to make them gun-free, then you have to be proactive. Not just put excuse me, I almost swore.
God, man.
Not just put a piece of tape up there that says no guns. That's not gun-free.
Okay.
If it's going to be gun-free, then it has to be proactive. Otherwise, there are guns.
You do this on purpose, don't you? So you're for no gun-free zones in hospitals, or you are? You're either for it or against it.
Well, generally speaking, I'm against gun-free zones in hospitals.
There you go. Okay, that's all I needed to hear. You and I won. We beat GWEBs. He has now officially lost the idea of the day. So what's next? Let's go on.
All right. Well, I'm sure he's washing his hands or whatever he does when he takes a break. But that was guns in hospitals. And if GWEB starts to speak, then I'll know he's here.
I was configuring.
And if he doesn't?
I've been configuring emojis. So let's keep going. So I guess that's the good idea, bad idea, where you didn't. I think we kind of solved that one, maybe. But you're welcome. We can always, we are always interested in feedback We're getting some out there now. It seems like the YouTube got unclogged over there. Got some
Right.
watching, but a lot more on the YouTube than the gun channel side right now. So trying to see if I can see a consensus.
We solved it. Daniel and I agreed.
So I think
Daniel
pro.
and I.
All right, so it
Okay.
turned out to be. So that'll take us to the showdown, which means I got to bring all this stuff over here so that we can bring the whole thing back over there.
This is the Instagram showdown, right?
Yep. Unless we want what else next.
Yeah, I might go a little robot.
Dun 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 dun.
Golly, Dano, and that's not the word I really wanted to use, but geez, that's annoying when you do that when I'm trying to talk.
Singing a theme song?
Just making noise.
All right, so we've got 575 posts. Let's look back and see where we were at last week. We were at 543. We got 500. We got 300 new ones.
The 300 new ones.
30 new ones. Whatever.
Yeah, 30. I thought your math was a bit elementary, dear Watson.
That should be about 10 of these threes. If I can use my Common Core, that's 5 groups of 2s. So 2, 3, 4, and then 2 more. Somewhere around here. I can remember the donuts one last year, right? Or last week, right? So we got this fixture for putting the trunnion in or something. I think we already saw that one.
Yep. That's new.
We saw that one.
Oh, we
No,
did?
it's not. I saw the trunnion.
I think we saw that one. It's already liked. Yeah, that was the one.
Or it's new.
All right, so I remember this one though. So Tony found this picture from NASA where the dudes from NASA left their Glock lying here on one of these vents. So
Oh, that's so cool. I'm wondering why it didn't float away though.
So
because
careless.
why would it? You stuck it there, it's going to stick there. It's the nature of space. Come on, Pop.
You only put Velcro on it.
I don't know what this is. Somebody's shooting an AK into the ground, I guess.
Home defense situation gone bad?
You know, I saw that fence there, so I'm thinking it's somebody that's really pissed at their neighbor.
So then we got this one from Chris. This one kind of nice. Got some back area, some front stuff happening, fancy rocks. I think he's just doing this because he's trying to push rocks on us all the time. But then he's also got.
Well, I think he put pine cone there.
Yeah, and that's a weird
Cone
looking
there.
phone with some kind of fungus growing out of it or something.
And
Yeah, it
just
is
for the
kind of
viewers
weird.
out there, I do believe that is a Springfield Armory.
It is. So if you want to boycott that picture, that's the best way to advocate. Going from angry here, some sort of I thought that was on his shirt. That must be his pants. Some sort of a belt buckle and gun website's patch or gun channel's patch.
No, that's one of those pocket pull things. Yeah. With just trigger guard on it.
Can't handle that.
We're
So I don't know what Tony was doing with this idiot, but I seen this the other day. It says special alloy we made for special bullets for a special video. So I don't know what that's all about.
oh,
I'm going to take a guess that that's silver, and he's making silver bullets.
For those are 20.
oh my God, he's gonna make silver bullets.
Yep. Because although it's similar
Oh,
to
I
like
want some of those.
reflectiveness, it's just a little bit more reflective than what I would expect.
So next we
I want
got
some of those in one.
Rupan with loader, and then the gun channel's patch, and the recycle matters patch, and some ammo. Optic Planet thing over here. Oh, it's a cover.
Now,
And then-
have you ever seen one of those loaders being used?
Nope. I'm not
Me
familiar.
neither.
I saw a video of it. It looks pretty clumsy, but I mean,
So we've
But
got
again, this is coming from somebody with zero.
dude, I use SKS speed loaders in my VZ58 with 5 rounds. So yeah, I know clumsy loading.
all right. So then we got Dog Body posting this mag up above the door jamb.
But it's got that sexy, you know, filter or right next to it, vent.
Right. The idea is that you have these things, like it says here, placed around the house. So you got reloads, just staged places.
So when the wife gets mad, she slams the door, it falls down.
So no better place to die than making it one of the greatest movies of all times. I don't know what that is, but it looks like they're on Kickstarter now, raising money for a movie with this guy and that guy and Saving Private Ryan. I don't know what it is. I don't know this story. All right, and then we got another one, mid-length gas system and a low-profile pinion welded brake. All right, AR parts, sitting on best. Another one from Chris. Ooh, the black and white.
Yeah, I should have known this was a Chris.
There's Smeggy.
Brass and Bucks Hunting and Archery Pro Shop. Now, is this the one he had? Yeah, this is the one he had shared a week or so ago.
I don't know. This one's in Indiana.
Oh,
Another one.
and by the way,
Listen.
I just saw that steel target in the frame backwards. I don't know if you want to say it on air or not. I can't remember. But what's your thoughts on steel targets, or was it just that particular one?
What do you mean? I don't have a problem with steel targets. There's a couple of companies that are douchebags, but the steel target.
Okay, maybe it was the company that we were discussing at the time. Never mind.
Yeah, I think so.
Jeez, Dano.
So then this is another one from Steadley. That's pretty good. It's elegant. Well, that's a good one. 1911, 2 days ago.
Yep.
That one from Jimmy doing a thing for the early watch. 10 millimeters. What is that? 45s? Yeah, 45s pointing at you. Scary. Look how big those are. You thought those were buckets at first. Let's see. Should the rail cover the gas block? Well, you might as well. That way you got more real estate up there.
Well, I mean, ideally, the purpose of the rail covering the gas tube and block is to protect it. And the gas tube is fairly fragile.
So we got another one from Dog Body with a couple of blocks all ready to go. Because the cops will be 10 to 15 minutes away. 10 to 45 minutes, is that what it said?
Goldfinger.
What? That's just a green one.
It's great. It's gold.
No, it's green.
It's
just
gold.
The lighting. Got a Bulgarian AK mag.
How do you know it's green?
Because I know that gun. It's a green gun. They don't make gold ones, for one. He would have had to paint it. I doubt he went out and painted it. And it's exactly what my green ones look like in the sun like that. Or in the dark, I should say.
They look gold bronze-ish.
Yeah.
Bronze-ish.
That's the perfect color because it changes color with the light. And it's not a green thing standing out in the night. It fades and it changes color like a chameleon.
It does not change colors.
I need a minute right now, guys. So I'm just going to give you my vote right now because I already know which one I'm picking. Artisan Tony and the Silver Block, and make both of it. That's the winner in my opinion.
Okay. It was Artisan Tony and what, Bob?
The silver block. You know, the silver ingot.
Oh, okay.
Looking through a scope here. Is there music? How do you make this sound? I don't know if there's a way to do sound. I don't know if he's shooting at anything or if he's just looking through the reticle.
Yeah.
Looks like an AK reticle. I don't know what it is. Oh, there you go. Now you can see it. That's pretty cool. Another one from Chris on Hill, looking up. One from Arctic Fire. That's a new one. So what? Bob left. Is he gone? So he's he did vote. Okay. And then we got some Colt ammo. I didn't know they made ammo yet. Oh, and he's showing off the Colt patch he got from back when we were sending out patches for the pop quiz. Pop quiz, huh? Hmm. And then this is my van, or this is Bob's van, so that must be up in the new stuff.
Who sent that in on his behalf? Because I know Bob can't figure out Instagram.
Me.
Oh, cheater.
Bob can't do the internet. It's fake. So we got Bob's vote. What's your vote? There's no dogs. There's nothing. There's
Do
no
we
dogs.
start from one end and kind of slowly go through one more time?
This is pretty much it. Is it slow enough?
Well, you can go a little faster.
It doesn't seem to be the biggest assortment. There's a couple of rifles and a lot of pistols, but no revolvers really, and mostly pistols this week. A couple of ARs.
Could you do just show the black and white one of the Glock in the wood?
This one?
Yeah.
This one.
That I kind of like.
This one's also black and white, but this one has a lot of texture.
Yeah. A lot of grain, depth.
It's telling a story with all that wood. Why'd that wood fall over like that?
Yeah. Back in 1892.
And who gave that tree stump a Glock? All right, is that the one you're voting on then? Or are you still deciding?
That's my vote.
All right, well, I'm voting for this, obviously. It's the coolest one. So now we have a three-way tie. You got the space shuttle thing, whatever it is, with the space station, I guess, with the gun on it. Or you got silver ingot. We assume that's silver. And then you got your fancy art piece. So now we'll jump over.
And two of the three are Artisan Tony.
Yeah, so he's basically got a ringer this time. He's like 2/3 chances of winning. So good thing this ain't Vegas. No, wait, if it was Vegas, we'd be the house and we'd be rich. We'd have to start doing the show in Vegas. So we're looking for some answers, some votes. I don't know, how many we take in the first 5 votes? Spend all day with all the viewers?
Sure. It's not, or I mean, we'll take a few more as long as they're up there timely.
Yeah, I'll say yeah for sure. Take the first 5 if they're timely. Otherwise, just go on whatever we chose. Our show. You don't like it? Suck it up, Buttercup. Oh, I'm back by the way.
Tony says he made a 12-hour video where he'll explain some of the alloy I made to shoot it. Will a pistol actually fire in the vacuum of space? I believe it will, because it fires underneath of a swimming pool all the time and underwater all the time. So
it will. I mean, it has its own oxygen source in the gunpowder.
Now, if it's a puny little 9mm, how much oxygen can it possibly have? Probably not that
Quite
much.
a bit in the gunpowder.
Right?
Well,
5 or a 4,
regardless,
and it's got enough oxygen to probably blast out of the Earth's gravitational pull, probably knock another planet out of there. That's what I'd be worried about, knocking Jupiter or something out of alignment.
anybody mind if I talk a little science for a moment? Underwater is not a vacuum. In space,
you think bullets got gills? You think bullets got gills?
that seating of the bullet is not going to withstand the vacuum of space.
It doesn't matter, Daniel. I'm not saying that the
oxygen or gases are still in that case will be sucked out post haste.
Daniel,
or sucked out. There's such pressure. There's such a vacuum that it's going to suck them out. Or are they going to stay in there with that?
You guys are both talking shit. The whole thing is the gunpowder is its own oxygen source. It has its own oxygen source. It will burn in outer space. because
It's got like a
creates,
little
Now
O2
once-
tank attached to it.
magic.
once it ignites,
It's got a
it's
space.
part of the compound. For God, oh God, like you want to talk science now? Oh my goodness! Like, you know what? Like, get a hold of Hosh. He's a rocket scientist, and he'll tell you it's the same reason that rockets burn in space and
You
produce.
can't hand the baton of the argument to someone else who's not present.
What I'm going to tell you is that in gunpowder, even black powder, that as it burns, it creates oxygen. That's why it burns so fast. It couldn't pull the oxygen from the air that fast. It burns because it's got an oxidizer in it. That's why it burns, and it will burn in space.
You are almost correct. Yes, rocket fuel contains an oxidizer, which is where it gets its oxygen from. That part is correct. Gunpowder, modern gunpowder, is different. Now, if someone in the outside chat happens to know the correct answer, feel free to chime in.
Anybody who knows real science will tell you gunpowder will fire in space. Your primer ignites it. Once it's ignited, it's going to produce the thrust. Now we can talk about how
one guy that's on your side.
Going to push you backward.
Nobody is voting for Bob's silver picture, I don't think. There's 2 space Glocks on the YouTube side, and 2 space Glocks on the gun channel side. There's someone. Did someone say silver from HBS? Because we said silver, so he turned on the internet, came running, and then 1 black and white Glock. Nothing for Bob's Glock. Nothing for the silver except for HBS. So I'm thinking this one didn't win. The space Glock won. Here we go.
Okay, well, fine. As long as the space Glock won, because they will fire in outer space. There, I think MythBusters did a test where they put a gun in hard vacuum and it fired. It shot the bullet out, and guess what? No air resistance. That bullet will just go for a long ways.
Actually, the way we look at this, we have to be more technically accurate. He's got it right next to an oxygen blower, so that's why they put that Glock right there. They got an oxygen blower right next to it.
Oh,
all right, so that was our hashtag Daily Gun Show. You can use hashtag Daily Gun Show over on the Instagrams and judge your pictures like this, and you'll be famous among dozens of people on the internet. It's amazing opportunity.
And you'll start a weird argument with the 3 of us. Or at least
congratulations, Artisan Tony, for posting a cool pic and winning all kinds of popular vote. And those guys didn't like your picture. All right, so we'll go on to.
I would like, before we continue to go on, I do want to make a concession because I am about the truth. And after doing a very quick Googleization of the issue, modern smokeless powder does contain an oxidizer in the form of potassium nitrate. So let that be said, that the truth shall be set free and shall be heard.
Well, that was very big of you, Dano.
It's an interesting way to say Bob's right all the time. But okay.
You're right, wasn't it?
All right, so we can move.
I'm so polite. I complimented him, thanked him for admitting I was right as well.
And then you made a point of telling us how polite you are, so thanks. So now we can move on to the gun shop of the day, which is American Shooters, which is in Vegas. And I don't know why I picked this one, but I was thinking about it, I guess. And I don't have the pictures right now because that site's down. But we've featured it a long time ago. Bob, did you go to American Shooters? It's one with all the stainless steel, diamond plate, and glass. You'd remember it.
I think we did. Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's like a medium-sized gun shop. They got a good selection of guns. It's all on the walls behind glass with like diamond plate. It's almost like a motorcycle shop or something like that, or a hot rod shop or something. They've got
that's exactly the vibe I got. Yeah,
they've got a bunch of military and police stuff, like new issue uniform type of stuff. Not the hugest.
They had police issue windbreakers.
Yeah, and EMS windbreakers, so lots of sizes and colors. They also had an indoor range, and they do classes and rentals there. So it's off the strip, about an Uber away. You wouldn't want to walk there unless you're a crazy walker, unless it's that kind of temperature where you could walk. It's walking distance if you're, it's like 3 or 4 miles from the strip, but it's Uber distance for sure. I'm not sure if they have shuttles because it's more of like a range for people that live in Vegas. It's not so much like you're in Vegas, so here's some recreational shooting, some of the big ones are on the strip, but it's more authentic. And if you brought guns to Vegas in order to shoot, I'm going to recommend you go to the Clark County Shooting Range, which is a huge outdoor facility up on the north side of Vegas, run by but for indoor stuff, if it's raining or something, this is a great alternative. And it's like a regular local shop, sizable. Probably not going to have a line because they got quite a few lanes there. I'm sure they can expand whenever they get busy. And pretty friendly. I mean, of the places, when I started taking pictures of shops in Vegas, it was still kind of pre-video days. When I was going to SHOT Show, I like to go to gun shops and take pictures, and they were always really nice about it. So they've always been a nice shop. So if you're in Vegas and you're looking for a shop to review for your channel or something, they're always been really nice about it. And it's definitely a great place for pictures. Lots of lighting and lots of cool guns. Not very many used stuff, mostly your new stuff, whatever's current. So that's the shop of the day. I think Bob said he's been there. I've been there. A bunch of us who've been to Vegas have gone to it. It's a pretty decent shop, and it's right outside of where we go to this other thing. And if you're ever in Vegas, check it out. We try to feature a new gun shop every day on the show, though. So that's the whole point. If you happen to be traveling or live near there, then you've heard about a shop that you might want to check out. So if you've got ideas for that, you can head over to Gun Show Loophole Tour. There's a place there to submit gun shops for when we're out driving around, or you can always email them to us, dailygunshow@gmail.com. We're always trying to put out a new gun shop every single day. With that, we also try to do a new movie every single day, and we get lots of participation with that. So thanks for the people who send in movies to talk about. So we try to talk about a gun movie, maybe something you haven't seen in a while, or if you're a youngin', something you ain't seen yet. Today, it's one of the good ones. We've talked about it before.
Hey, you're not reading the side notes.
No.
Yeah, we are, but you're not jumping in when you're supposed to.
Fine.
Yeah, supposed to pause for a long, awkward amount of time.
Just gonna make me force it in there, then I'll just force it in there.
Well, that's not.
I try to be polite, but no, I'm not allowed to be polite. I just gotta jam it. Keep jamming it. If it's not working, it's because you're not using enough brute force. But it's time for the tactical pop quiz, whether you like it or not. And there we are. So, with all that notice given ahead of time, G-Webs, are you ready to assist? And have you seen the answer for today's question?
I see one thing over there. Is that the answer?
Okay, let me go over and take a little peek. And there's the question, and just below that are... I
was looking at the gun of the day. All right. Yeah.
Okay. And first of all, today's question was sent in by Angry American, so thank you very much, Angry. And it is there's 2 parts to the answer, a minimum of 2 parts to the answer. They must be on the same line. So the question is as follows, and I shall read it twice. Revolvers chambered in .445 Super Magnum can fire what other rounds? Name at least 2 of them. Revolvers chambered in .445 Super Magnum can fire what other rounds? Name at least 2 of them.
Now, what about specific revolvers that fire that round down? What are those? Ruger's and Taurus?
Be quiet, Bob.
I'm trying to confuse the question.
We have no answers. No answer. Oh, we got 2. Hold on. Wait.
Oh, we have a correct answer. Well,
Oh, we got it.
Yes. And Mr. Pants, you got 2 of the 3 correct answers: 44 mag, 44 special, and 44 Russian. Correction.
Oh, way to go,
Congratulations,
Mr.
Pants.
Pants.
Yep, Pants. So you're today's tactical pop quiz winner. Congratulations. You know what to do, but just as a reminder, go over to dailygunshow.com/pop quiz, fill out the form so we can keep track of who's number one. Yeah, who's number one? Yeah, who's number one? Okay, we've all heard that before. All right, and fill out the form. So congratulations, Pants.
And Pants, you know what that makes you? If Dano doesn't interrupt me, that makes you the tactical hot shot of the day. So there you go, man.
I would never interrupt you during your part of the show, and that's your part. When Smeggy's not here, that's all yours.
Please. Yeah, you're just trying to get it because you want all of it.
That's just like the quote of the day. You got the quote is yours, you own it.
And every chance you get, you put your own in.
All right, well,
no, every chance I get, I take viewer-submitted quotes and insert them.
all right. So at this point, we'll move on to that gun movie of the day that we talked about earlier. And today it's one that we've talked about in the past. It's one of Z's favorites, so he talked about it passionately in the past. I like it a lot. I think Bob likes it a little bit. And I don't know if Daniel's even seen it, The Wild Bunch.
I love it. It's great. I went and refreshed and watched a few of the battle scenes today on YouTube. They were fantastic and really gory for its day.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've not seen it in a number of years because I watched this numerous times throughout the 70s.
The Wild West.
Whoop. But
lots of
yeah, it focuses on a part of the West that most movies never do, and that's the transition from the Wild West to modern industrialized America.
What Dano means is it's, you know, right around the time where we started getting machine guns and automatic pistols and all that fun stuff. So you get to see lots of, you know, 45s, I think there's a, no, Mauser, Maxim machine gun, lots of trench guns, like pump action shotguns. Those are so badass.
Well, I mean, there are automobiles in this movie.
I mean, it's just the beginning of the industrial age, yes. But it's like, I mean, what that means is you get to see all these cool guns that came out about that time. So very interesting. But there is still the lever actions and the single action Colts, and you know, so it is a great movie, and the battle scenes are incredible. Yeah, I just love it.
I find it interesting, you know, because it is focusing in on the end of an era, and for me, that's the attraction to it. Is you almost feel bad for whether it be just the cowpoke out on the range or whether it be the bad guy, whatever. But that time is coming to an end very quickly, and they were going to be left in the past, whether they were alive or dead.
So I was on the phone there. I don't know. Did you guys talk about how it changed? It was a pivotal part in violence in movies.
Well, I touched on it with the fact that it was much more graphic and gory than any Western that had come before it. And it showed people getting shot, and, you know, instead of just being a tiny little bullet hole, it'd be like a boom, and you could almost see meat flying off. So it was very, like I said, graphic. So yeah, it was really something for those days. But a lot more realism, even though, you know, nowadays we'd go, well, that's not really realistic, but it was much more so than what had come before it. Big thumbs up for it, for sure.
But as far as the Western genre, I definitely one worth watching.
So I've been distracted because Mr. Wright came up with the new 45 casual over on the gun channel side. So yeah, that sounds like, I don't know if you guys have seen these things where they take like a muffin and a brownie and they mix them together. It's like a thing in California. Or they take like a cookie and a cupcake and smash them together, and it's some sort of new dessert. So they could take like I don't know, like a 40 and a 45 and smash them together like that and call it the 45 casual. Be like some hipster millennial caliber.
What?
No, hipster, it would be very small and effeminate.
Are you talking about it in some fantasy land, or what are you talking about?
We're on the Gun Channels chat. I read the Gun Channels chat, so I'm paying attention to what they're saying over there.
Well, I'm looking at the Gun Channels chat, and I'm trying to find that this.
Oh, Dano. It's
says,
interpretation.
I was typing so fast, I invented a 45 casual.
That's it. Bingo.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'm also eating a plum, so now I'm done.
Okay. Well, as long as we're not interrupting your midday snack.
I'm muted.
I guess that's fine.
I have the politeness to mute. Anyway, so what are we doing?
You have a medical condition that requires a midday plum.
It's super hot here, and a cold plum hits the spot when you're talking after a while.
Where's your little water sprayer?
Got it right here. It's not quite that hot because it rained the other day, so it's not satisfying.
Because it wouldn't be the Daily Gun Show without an intermittent.
Oh, please! Why are you so worried about that little extra sound?
Because it comes out of nowhere, and I could never figure out what it was for months, because he wouldn't tell me.
Oh,
he just tortured me.
We will tell you what the gun of the day is. So every day we try to come up with a gun. Bob does a pretty good job of that. And today it's not even a gun. It's a fake gun.
No, it isn't.
Oh, this is the Lewis and Clark thing?
BB gun.
The Garadani. Oh, BB gun. It's a 40, I think it's 46 or 42 caliber. And, I mean, it would move them out with the theory, well, the replicas will do 700 feet per second. That's not bad for 40-some caliber. But they think that the originals did closer to 1,100.
Now, is this based off the original Lewis and Clark air gun?
Yes. And it was, like I say, 100 yards, that would be lethal to somebody not wearing any kind of body armor. 40 caliber going at probably at that range, still 700 feet per second. That's going to kill you.
I mean, that's as fast as a 45 ACP.
Exactly. Now,
and it makes no sound.
Well, it does make sound. You hear the crack of the bullet when it comes out.
Either no smoke powder or cloud.
No smoke powder, and it's a repeater. You've got 20 rounds,
and you don't have to be over 65 to use it.
Okay, but like I say, I mean, this is a real weapon, and this is one of the reasons that they were able to cross the continental United States when they met Indian tribes. Most of the guys in the group had just muskets and stuff, but they had this one rifle, and they would just, showing off to the local tribe, they would go and this guy would like ping off, pots or targets 50 yards, is boom, 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 boom. And the Indians all went, oh, we're not messing with these dudes. Because, I mean, if that gun does it, they all do it. So it was a display of force. Even though it didn't have the power to take big game, it was quite adequate to take people and shit out. And that's what the local native people knew. And that's one of the reasons they managed to do that. Now, make no mistake, it wasn't the only reason. They had guts out the wazoo to be able to take on something like that, and just endurance to, basically walk across America with no trails and not knowing where they're going or anything. So, yeah, kudos to them. But this is one of the things that made it possible for them.
Did you know they made a
Wasn't
Derringer?
Oh, really? Did they?
Yeah.
Was it air powered or?
Yeah, just the handle is air, just like the stock on the rifle. So what's the pump look like? Is this the pump, I guess?
I hang on, I got to turn my bandwidth up, so I might get a little body.
I guess they carried around a spare flask, a spare air tank, the air pump, wrenches, mold, and a ladle. So you can carry a little kit here, and all you'd have to do is have lead. So you'd have to mine lead out of the ground and then pump air.
Right. And it took a lot of pumping, but it was very high pressure. And if you think about it, in most combats, you know, especially back in those days when people didn't have much anything, but 20 rounds that you were able to shoot one after the other that were all lethal. And then you've got a spare air cylinder that you could screw on. You had to. You get another 20 rounds. That was unprecedented. Most people carrying cap and ball, what they carried on them was maybe 10, 20 rounds.
So it says that they could shoot 30 rounds with the air reservoir full, and it would take 1,500 strokes of the hand pump to fill the reservoir.
Yeah.
You would think they'd come up with
basically
on the horse, the horse would have done it.
Yeah, so if you think about it, you got the two reservoirs, you've got 60 shots, and you know, every morning that's 1,500 pumps to fill that up. You know, it makes perfect sense.
How many burgers do you want?
Oh, just one.
Just one?
Just one's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, we weren't sure how much you want.
Okay. No. Yeah.
What if somebody else wanted some? Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, well, nobody else can have it over the internet. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn my mic off. That's I've got 2 teenage girls.
You're not sharing. That's not very polite. It's not very Canadian.
What can I say? One's taking culinary arts, so this should be interesting.
All right, so that's the gun of the day. We tried to think of a new gun every day. So today it's a fake gun. It's a BB gun. Bob's he didn't want to work hard today. So
It's not a fake gun.
BB gun.
No,
I mean,
it's a real gun.
It was this sort of mystery / what the Indians perceived as magic, which is why they were so afraid or concerned, because numerically they could have wiped out the Lewis and Clark expedition, regardless of all of their rifles and technology, just numerically.
Now you're scaring me again because you're agreeing with me again.
Yeah, you got lucky.
World today.
So let's talk about what's on Gun Channels tonight. We have a debut of a new show starting in moments, or they might have started 4 minutes ago. Clover Tack is doing a show on Wednesdays before Matt does Never Enough Ammo does his show. Clover Tack will also be doing a show tomorrow night, and then he does a show on Friday. So head over to his show. We'll have a link over there in the Gun Channels and on YouTube. So if you're interested, he's a show or a channel out of Texas, and he's hit the ground running. Well, he's already been doing a lot of content, but he hit Gun Channels running and been participating quite a bit. So check that out. Matt will have his show, Never Enough Ammo, does a show on Wednesday nights. Mondays, he talks about his nerds and geek stuff. And then on Wednesdays, it's more guns and politics. So check that out. That should be in about an hour. We've got the Good Morning Gun Channels will be on tomorrow. Sean Ponnery will have that probably in the lobby. It's a long format show where everybody gets together during the day. Usually Tony and I are in there like at 4 a.m. my time, which is like 7 a.m. Eastern. And we chat for a bit.
Tony, Illinois Tony or Artisan Tony?
Illinois Tony. Artisan Tony's probably working at that time of day. And then we chat for a bit. Sometimes Moon or some of the other guys from the East Coast who are up early or maybe even up late, depending on the day, will chat for a bit. And then I usually go out and do my thing for a while and then check back in later. And it's usually popping. So it's been a great effort from Sean Connery, from Jimmy James, and from Tony to put together those shows. And then we'll be back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's noon or 4 Pacific. Why do I keep saying noon Pacific all the time now? It's been a long time since we were at noon Pacific. So I was trying to think also that Heavy, I don't know when he's doing a show. He's off on Wednesdays, so I don't know if he's doing a show. I've been trying to talk him into doing a late night show, but he might not want to because of his work schedule. Anyway, we'll see about what Heavy's going to be doing for his shows. I think that's about it. We'll be back tomorrow with episode 354. That's CCW topics, online CCW versus class CCW, classroom. We'll be talking about gun stuff, cases for transport on planes specifically. And then for our training segment, as important as offhand single shot training is, how often you actually practice drawing in your range sessions. This is only relevant for those of you that shoot at a range that allows holster draws. Okay, so we're going to talk about some specific training stuff and, of course, all the daily stuff that we do on a daily basis. So looking forward to seeing everybody back here tomorrow. You can always like and subscribe. We appreciate that. Head over to the Gear website store. Sell maybe 2 or 3 items a week. So anything would really help us out over there. And that supports the show. It supports everything we do as gun websites and gear websites and everything. So do appreciate that. We will see you back here tomorrow.
Yep. And if you're looking for a little bit more chat, as G-Web said, head on over to CloverTac over on Gun Channels. He's starting just a few minutes ago. So check that out.
All right. Yeah, I actually want to go check that out. So let's just wrap this up. Before that, I always like to remind everybody, just like everybody else does, please like, share, and subscribe. Help spread the word, and go buy those T-shirts and mugs and stuff on. So this quote today is by Rand T. Lennox. Those gun control activists advocating exchanging liberty for safety should recall that the safest place on earth is solitary confinement in Leavenworth. Now, whether that's true or not, I'd like to thank everybody for watching and listening, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.